Podcast 28, Week 30. Welcome to the podcast, Your Pregnancy Week by Week. This podcast covers the 40 weeks of pregnancy in 38 segments and is based on the book Your Pregnancy Week by Week by Dr. Glade Curtis, MD, and me, Judith Schuler, MS. The information in our books and podcasts is a general informative guide about pregnancy. None of the information we provide is intended to replace, countermand, or conflict with the advice given to you by your own doctor. Always follow his or her advice. Use the information you learn here as a starting place in your dialogue to help you put your pregnancy concerns, questions, or interests into words. The goal of every pregnancy is a healthy mom and a healthy baby. To that end, our podcasts cover many topics. In each weekly podcast, we'll highlight information contained in the same weekly discussion in our book. We suggest you read each weekly chapter to learn further information, such as how baby is growing and changing and how you're growing and changing too. Our book also contains illustrations of changes in baby or you, advice for dads, charts, lists, boxes, an exercise for every week, a comprehensive glossary, hints, tips, snippets, and blurbs we just can't reproduce in a podcast. So let's get started on this week's discussion. We're going to look at week 30. Around this time, you may discover your nesting instinct, the overwhelming urge to clean and get organized. Experts believe it may be caused by an increase in the hormone oxytocin. If you feel like getting things done, go for it. Just don't get overtired. Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, affects the large intestine, causing abdominal pain and abnormal bowel movements. IBS may be a lifelong condition. There is no cure. The goal of treatment is to relieve symptoms. Treatment includes drinking plenty of water and eating a high-fiber diet. Moderate, safe exercise, if you have your doctor's okay, may also help. Get enough sleep and rest. Ask your doctor about taking soluble fiber supplements. If IBS becomes severe, you may be prescribed medication. Have you heard about flotation baths? You float in salt water inside an isolation tank, which may relieve stress-related ailments and help reduce pain and swelling. We've had pregnant women ask us if floating could harm their baby. Probably not. A pregnant woman may actually find relief in a float tank. In the later stages of pregnancy, a float tank may help reduce stress on your joints. It's okay to lie on your back in a float tank because you put little pressure on the blood vessels under your uterus. The relaxed state may also help lower your blood pressure and increase blood flow in your body. Talk to your doctor about a float tank if you're interested. He or she will advise you about its safety. And if you don't want to spend the money on a float tank experience, go to your local pool. You may be able to get much of the same effects. It's time to start considering where you will give birth. Whatever birthing setup you choose, the most important considerations are the health of your baby and the welfare of you both. There are various hospital setups available for labor and birth. With labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum, called LDRP, the room you're admitted to at the beginning of labor is the room you labor in, deliver in, recover in, and remain in for the rest of your hospital stay. Another option is a birthing room. This generally refers to delivering baby in the same room you labor in. You may be moved to another area of the hospital for recovery and the rest of your stay. In many places, labor and delivery suites are available. You labor in one room, then are moved to another room to give birth. Then you may go to a postpartum floor where you'll stay until you leave. Most hospitals allow you to have baby in your room as much as you want. This is called rooming in or boarding in. Check availability of various facilities and the hospitals in your area before you make any final decisions. Do you know much about vaccines? Vaccines protect us from diseases. When you get a vaccine, your immune system makes antibodies to fight a particular disease. Many people have been immunized against many childhood diseases. You may get the seasonal flu vaccine every year, or maybe you've had one of the COVID-19 vaccines. Other vaccines you've had may include those for HPV, meningitis, or hepatitis. The only vaccines every woman should have during pregnancy are the Tdap vaccine, a tetanus shot, and the seasonal flu vaccine. The Tdap vaccine covers tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, also called whooping cough. Baby can't be vaccinated with Tdap until about 2 months of age. If you get a Tdap vaccine during pregnancy, you pass some protection to baby, but that only happens if you get the vaccine during pregnancy. It's also a good idea to get a flu shot to protect you against various strains of influenza. It's safe during all 3 trimesters. The good news is protection can pass from you to baby and last for a while after baby is born. Getting a flu shot protects you both. As for the COVID-19 vaccine, discuss it with your doctor. The CDC recommends all pregnant women be vaccinated. Many pregnant women have received COVID vaccines with few problems. If you have concerns, talk to your doctor about them. While we don't routinely recommend some vaccines, they may be safe for pregnant women who are at risk. You and your doctor should discuss various illnesses and what your risks may be. There are some vaccines you should never receive during pregnancy. Don't get the MMR vaccine for measles, mumps, and rubella. If you've never had chickenpox and you're pregnant, wait until after baby is born to get the chickenpox vaccine, also called the varicella vaccine. Some women ask if herbal teas are safe during pregnancy. It's always good to ask questions before rather than after you do something. Some herbal teas are safe to drink, others are not. Even safe teas can have some cautions. There are some proven benefits of drinking some herbal teas, but don't overuse any herbal tea. 12 to 16 ounces total is the maximum amount of any tea to drink in any given day. If you have questions, ask your doctor or check our book for a list of safe teas. Some couples don't find out baby's sex before birth. It's part of the fun of being pregnant. However, they may try different methods to predict baby's gender as sort of a game. One method is the Chinese gender chart. Legend has it the chart was found when a royal Chinese tomb was explored 700 years ago. There's no proof it works, but couples tell us it's a fun way to try to guess if baby will be a boy or a girl. All you need are the lunar month the baby was conceived and the mom-to-be's lunar age at the time of conception. You need lunar times because the Chinese calendar is different from a Western Gregorian calendar. Because the formula is complicated and based on the Chinese calendar, we suggest you go online and find a website to help you figure it all out. This can be fun to do as a couple. You may think it's too early to start thinking about childcare, but it's not. Start thinking about it now if you plan to return to work after baby's birth. Quality care is in high demand and short supply, especially for infants. Begin looking for a childcare situation at least 6 months before you need it. For some women, that may be before the end of the second trimester. Remember, our podcasts give you the highlights of what may be happening in any given week. Check our book, Your Pregnancy Week by Week, for more detailed information. You may also want to check out our book for partners, Your Pregnancy for the Father-to-Be. It covers pregnancy from a man's point of view and provides lots of valuable information a man may find very useful. If you want to find out more about our podcast, visit our website, yourpregnancyweekbyweek.com. If you're looking for something specific, check out the podcast topics list. It details topics covered in each podcast, so you can listen to a particular podcast or read a certain chapter week if you want more information, or if you want to check out something you missed or a topic we haven't covered yet.